in the game that I believe he's not gonna engage.
That's the angle. Okay, I see.
He's that bad that he, you know, like it's a curve, you know, like first you engage, then you become better, and then you become worse. You don't engage, and at some point you're that bad that you engage again. But he's in that hole where he doesn't engage because he's too bad. So I believe that he can do it, of course. But yeah, I mean, if they get the angle, if they get the Gwen flank, Gwen is Goomba champion here. The only champion that can really stand up to her is Cassiopeia. But
yeah, I wanted to ask you about the Gwen, because you wanted the Gwen for Yoshino even last game, right? Into the tank matchup. Now, against Cassante, it's still a good matchup, but not quite as dominant as into the Malphite, especially early on, right? The Gwen will outscale the Cassante in the 1v1, but early in the game, the Cassante can kind of fight back. Where do you think, what is the win condition here for Yoshino on the Gwen? Will he just chill in side lanes and then join teamfights later, or does he actually impact the game early on?
I think once he hits 1 to 2 items, he's an absolute monster. I mean, granted, against low range comps is usually something that you really want to avoid as a short range comp, right? Like short range comps get completely clapped, and in this case, I think Yoshino has a pretty easy job, except for Cassiopeia. She can of course run down the Gwen. So whenever Cassiopeia has her miasma out, I think it's time for Gwen to go in and to just 1v5 every team fight, because I think that's how strong this champion is currently, and that's what he can do if he hits those 2 items.
Alright, let's see if he can do it. Had a decent game on the Sion, but in the end, it's Sion. So now a much more interesting champion. Gwen for Yoshino, definitely one of the carries he has added to his pool. And all of our famous top laners, I feel like, can play Gwen rather well. It's one of Hasmut's best champions. It's definitely one of... Kiaya can play the Gwen as well, even though maybe not the best champion for Kiaya. But Yoshino also a prolific Gwen player. On the other side, both junglers heading towards the bot side of the Rift. Fug1 with a full clear on top side, while Killer Queen actually skipped one of the camps, the Gromp. So Fug1 able, Killer Queen able to invade here. Can he find the enemy jungler? It looks like he wants to go for a mid gank instead.
Yeah, Jane might be in trouble here. That should be a flash at least.
Okay, Killer Queen actually flashing on top of him. Jane, one more auto attack. That's the first blood. Actually going to the red buff for Killer Queen. Not the worst. Glory didn't even flash to get the last hit, so very good restraint shown from Glory this time around. He could have greedy flashed for the kill there, just flash auto take or flash E to secure the kill for Cassiopeia. Instead, it's going to go over to Killer Queen, and what a cool aggressive play from the Lee Sin, just flashing on top of Jane to make sure that there was no chance of getting away. Engaged in the bot lane for put in, and Vid under a little bit of pressure, but walks away to his tower, burns the ignite from TQ. Should be fine to just chill under tower and secure some of the last hits coming in.
Yep, he should be shitting, and as you said, it was a nice play from Killer Queen that we can see again, and he ward jumps for the first time here to avoid that ward that was placed earlier by Jane and spotted, and then he uses the second ward he gets actually to... No, he actually flashes in just, and forces the flash, then Qs, and Jane gets run down in the end. The red buff gets the kill, which is okay, especially if Killer King can slowly snowball that further. Now he's just walking into lane, smiting the Ken minion, which means they would just want to shove out. They want to get Vid his reset and make sure that he can't be all in again.
Yeah, and Fug1 should take notes of this game. Look at what Killer Queen's doing early on, because Killer Queen is both ganking and helping his lanes at the same time, while Fug1 is just kind of running around at jungle creeps. Definitely early. Okay, Glory using his flash now. This could be a kill. Does he land another Q? Oh, and there it is. Solo kill for Glory. What an amazing display of discipline in the mid lane and timing, because Glory didn't flash for the early kill. He knew, if I have flash advantage here, I can just chase for the kill, and that's horror for Jane. He was supposed to be the one holding back all the short-range champions, and now he's 0-2 in the early game.
Yep, and I think that's the point where, as a mid laner, you just blame your jungler and go next. I think, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, he misplayed it, and great play from Glory. I wouldn't even blame Jane really for it. It's just completely unplayable if Cassiopeia has flash and you don't. You basically have to use your spells on the wave, or you're not gonna have push, and if you use them, you just die anyway. So, well played from Glory, and good punish there, but also... where is Fug1? He is still missing. I think he went the EU away and just disappeared for a split.
Oof. It seems to be a Flash thing. Flash junglist. Just going away. But Fukwon, yeah, he's full clearing on Vi. Maybe not the thing you do. Maybe you should just play Karthus, Mr. Fukwon.
Yeah, I mean, like, either you play a champion that actually likes full clearing. Like you said, Karthus, Lilia, right? Any of those champions.
Yeah.
Like, do something, like, pick something where if you full clear, you're actually useful. Or play something like Vi and do something, or at least like counter gank or anything. But like playing Vi and watching, just not the thing.
Ooh, I like the sidestep from Vid very much. TQ, and that is probably a death from TQ. Yeah, he can't do anything. What a cool outplay. Vid really stepping up in the last week of play. We always criticized him. He's one of the players I have the hugest doubts about in the ADC position. Definitely not on the same level as Artemis or Shogun or Style. But really, these last 2 weeks, he's come into play and actually looked like a decent asset to his team. And what a nice little mechanical outplay. TQ coming in, new support player for Flash, and gets punished in the 2v2. Everything going Wales' way all the time.
Yeah, I mean, this game already is looking really, really rough. About 2k gold advantage here for the side of Team Wales, and like, yes, it's already started to go for a little push here, but he's getting punished because Fukwon for the first time is actually here, and now Jane is also there to punish, and Nagia should be dead.
Nagia in a lot of trouble, tries to use his mobility. No way! No way! Nagia, he is such a master of this champion. What a ridiculous mobility-loaded kid this is. He walks away. There is oh my god, the mental is shattered on the side of Flash. Look at their faces. TQ is disgusted with what he just witnessed on the top side of the map. Ay, ay, ay.
Can we go next?
I mean, there's no next. This is literally the last game of the split for
like,
Flash.
They all they want is just get the flight home, man. Like they're on the speedrun here. They're on the airport speedrun, doing the TSM right now. But I mean, what the hell was that? Like how? Like obviously Nagia played it really well, but how? Like even if Nagia played it perfectly, there was no way that he should get out ever. And somehow he did, and now TQ is looking for Vid again. Last time TQ ended up dying for this. This time he gets the Flash.
Yeah, this time he's forced to Flash. Vid thought he was safe in lane because he's almost level 6, and then he has his ultimate, but good punish there. Understanding the breakpoints for the Xayah. Now, this is risky. I like CBL coming back because Xayah really needed him to secure this level 6 and also these minions. So nice to see CBL finally stepping back into lane. It cost 1 flash on the ADC, but they did have the pressure through the roam from CBL to now go for the free topside objective. So once again, Wales walking away with everything. They got first dragon, they got all the kills. Nagia didn't even die, and they have first herald as well. This game is just going downhill very quickly for Team Flash. Oh, Puddin needs to be careful. There are a lot of feathers behind him. But good flash ultimate for Fukwon onto Vid. That's nicely done. Finally doing something, Fukwon here, but they need to be careful. Glory arrived. Oh, that's Miasma. TF is already... TQ is already dead. That's 1 kill back. 1 for 1 in the end. Okay, CBL gets caught. 1 auto attack. CBL, come on, we can sidestep that. But Glory on the other side punishing Fukwon. 2 kills to the Cassiopeia. She's now 3-0. And even though it's a 2 for 2, it just feels so bad for this team. Can Killer Queen land his Q? Yep, of course he can. Flash Q. That's Jane. Jane ticking down to the... Oh, yet another kill for Glory. What a masterclass on this Cassiopeia this game is.
It's a 4-0. It's a 4-0 Cassiopeia. She's gonna have a run of ages in the 9th minute probably. Whew. That's gonna be a rough one. And Herald comes down, gets platings into Vit as well. I mean, yes, he died, and yes, he lost some CS, but he's completely fine in the game, especially brought back now by the platings. Gets 1 solo platings, gets 2 shared platings, and is absolutely back in it. And here we can see the bot fight again. Of course, Vit doesn't have the flash, so he had to insta ulti. And now Fukwon with the flash ultimate onto the flashless and ultiless Vit, as easy as it gets. But Glory with the TP, being able to come in, gets the first one, and then the further fight. And that CBL survives this, flashes out, and then doesn't sidestep is a bit He got.
Yeah, he was
Fook out
stuck.
the
Yeah,
pathing.
yeah, it was a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
He needed to go to the left side kind of before the skill shot even was fired, so it looked a little worse than it was in the end, because once he decided to go upwards, he was dead already. So yeah, I flamed him a little too hard. He could have probably lived if he decided beforehand to go to the left, but in the end, it's
Yeah,
one kill back to put in.
If he expects the engage comes in CBL with the punishment, but nice play here from Punin. Cleanse plus E saves him.
And now Team Wales is so strong on the bot side, they can kind of do whatever they want. Killer Queen missing the Q, it's not gonna be good. And Fook1 once again on Vid. Vid doesn't have his ultimate, a few seconds, but they kill Vid in time. Now, CBL, there is a counter-engage possibility. Look at the HP buffer Glory, he's so tanky, but CBL isolated. 2 kills over for Puddin. There's some fight left in Flash. They don't want to go quietly into the off-season. This is potentially their last game, this split, and they want to make it count. Nice double kill for Puddin, their main carry of the team, but Killer Queen still fancies the steal. They're running back in, the mid-jungle duo, they are so scary, and Fook1 gets caught. That should be an easy kill for the Cassiopeia. Kick a little questionable, and Fook1 actually walking away. Very good dodge, he gets another Q, and Fook1 is out.
Yeah, somehow he survives. I'm not sure why Killer Queen didn't just kick early. Or it doesn't kick at all after Glory, but he I think thought that he would tick down. In the end, Glory doesn't have the damage, but only has the Rod of Ages at the moment, which of course gives some AP, but isn't the master class of AP that of course the next 2 to 3 items are going to bring to this Cassiopeia. So we're still in a position where good play here from Team Flash, and now you have not only 4-0 Cassiopeia on the one side, but Puddin on a 4-0 Zeri, and that means that she's gonna be much stronger in the last game, and we saw what she could do in the last game. It was so close in some of the team fights, and this time there's no Malphite ult, which is huge win.
Yeah, I guess that is true. I mean, it's still a very rough situation on the map, but Team Flash has recovered a bit. 4-0 Zeri should also do a little bit of work, right? So 4-0 Cassiopeia against 4-0 Zeri. Who do you trust here?
I think both can carry games easily. I just think that due to the range advantage that overall Team Flash's comp has with Puddin, it should be easier for Team Flash to make that 4 Zeri work, because Cassiopeia has to get really close, and I feel like Team Flash doesn't have to get that close, while Team Wales comp doesn't really have a choice. They have to move in close. Every champion's being outranged by Zeri, which means that they should be able to Zeri should just be able to run them over.
Yeah, hopefully we can see something like that. Team Flash definitely would be nice to see them contesting a playoffs team as their last hurrah in the split. And also, as we heard in the break, we didn't want to bring it up, but it's kind of important here. Team Flash could actually still fall into relegations with the new tiebreaker rules. So a win today against Wales would secure their spot in Summer Split. They're still very far away from actually securing that win, being down a game and some gold in this game, facing a 4-0 Cassiopeia. But it might be the comeback they could mount here to secure their spot in the Summer Split. That's another engage, double, ooh, that's triple engage and Glory, but he's so tanky, and now the counter, that's really nicely done from Killer Queen, that's a kill on Fook1. Fook1, no chance to flash away, what a nice counterplay, and that's the problem with Cassiopeia. You can get on top of her, she's immobile, but she has so much HP to work with these early items, and she's only gonna get tankier later on in the game, so a counter kill, very nice reaction for Killer Queen, flash ulting him into his own tower, and that's yet another kill for the side of Team Wales.
I'm not sure if have Fook1 and TQ actually heard about stacking CC or not stacking CC, I guess, because they use their entire CC chain at the same time. So Glory could get out really early and really, really quickly. And of course, like he probably wouldn't have died anyways, but I think they should have gone in with the goal of getting Glory's flash and getting out. In the end, Lee Sin was there to cover, and the punishment came in. Fook1 again dies. And I wanted to say that Fook1 has significantly more assists than deaths this time, because in the last game it was always a fight between the two. Does he have more assists? Does he have more deaths? I think he ended with more deaths than assists. In this game, he's trying the same thing again.
Yeah, you are really out there for Food One.
I'm out here. I'm out here. I bring the hate for Food today, but I mean, like when he does something nice, I'm gonna say it as well. Like if you run it down, I'm gonna flame you, and if you play nice, I'm gonna say it as well. And today, sadly, not so many nice plays, and maybe he can turn it around. On the other hand, Killer Queen had his number the entire game as well and was completely dominating him and playing it really nicely as well on the Lee Sin, which was of course to be expected because Killer Queen's Lee Sin is disgustingly good. But still, I mean, credit where credit is due. He is also abusing Food One really nicely.
Yeah, and speaking of Killer Queen, yesterday we had a little bit of a discussion about our placings for some of the positions, and it's actually kind of hard, this split, to decide on some. I think Jungle is pretty unanimous for first place. Levi has really come back together to his main form, and especially on something like the Wukong, he has looked incredible. But number 2 in the Jungle is not easy to decide, and one of the candidates is definitely Killer Queen, who has had a different split. He was known to be the most aggressive player in the whole league and going crazy every game. He has really toned down the aggression but kept some of the mechanical prowess, and it really comes to fruition in games like these where he's active but he's not overstepping too much. 2-0-1 now, and he's looking for yet another approach on Yoshino. Speaking of Yoshino, 1 item under his belt. And you talked about the Cassiopeia being the one champion he needs to worry about, and unfortunately that Cassiopeia is now 4-0, so I'm not sure about the Gwen being a win condition anymore.
I mean, she definitely is. I think if she is in the right position in team fights, she can still carry fights, but it's just the whole map was burning, and your bot lane is kind of like... I mean, your bot lane and top lane are kind of looking at your mid-jungle duo and asking themselves why they're still here. Because... I mean, like, bot lane has been winning. They're 4-0. They're in a great position. They're up 20 CS, and they are the Zeri lane. This Zeri is absolutely fed. She has 2 items, probably before 20 minutes, which is really early for Zeri. And then Yoshino is up CS, is trying his best, is really trying to just farm himself up. And mid jungle decided to not let the side lane scale whatsoever.
Yeah, and this play in top lane was so nice, we get to see it right again for some reason, because YouTube decided to just jump back 20 seconds in time. I'm sorry, this just happens on the VCS stream for sometimes. I'm not entirely sure why, but nothing really comes of it. Nagia playing on the weak side here of the map, really nice, not actually opening himself up to be dived upon. So Nagia, once again, understanding his role in the game, sacrificed a few CS and probably the tower going down. But in the meantime, his team already on the offensive again. This might be a 2-tower push as Flash is failing to react in time. No, Wales playing it safe, only 1 tower, but that's better than nothing.
Yeah, and they got the charge on the second one, so damage on tier 2 is done, and any push with any wave should now kill it really quickly. And right now they don't have to fight. I mean, especially for Xayah, just getting that second item is so important. And so I have a question, right? So last game you went for Gale Force, and you were playing against like a super tank, right? And this game you go for Kraken Slayer when you're playing into no tank.
I mean, this is something I always bring up, but Riot is just lying to you when they say Kraken Slayer is an anti-tank item. It is objectively not. True damage that doesn't scale with HP is actually better against squishy targets, because it's a higher percentage of their HP that the true damage is. So it's just a higher DPS item. It has nothing to do with tank shredding. But
yes and no, but like you need more DPS into tanks.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I do agree with that.
Helps you killing tanks.
I do agree.
And like
with
in this game, I feel like Gale Force could be really nice because you have good spells to dodge actually. Especially getting away from the Gwen, getting away from the Rakan can be so important with the Gale Force. So I would have understood the Gale Force play in this game, where I wasn't too happy about it in the last game. So I'm surprised about the itemization. Maybe if it was like, I should have built it last game, so in exchange I'm gonna build it this game.
Yeah, Gale Force looks really nice into the likes of Gwen, where she's slightly out of your auto attack range, maybe, with her Hallowed Mist. You can Gale Force into the Hallowed Mist and just kill her. As Killer Queen finds himself completely out of position, almost gets away, but good shutdown, good collapse from Team Flash. There's no objective they can really go for, unfortunately, but it's still a nice little kill, getting the shutdown on the Lee Sin, who had Flash available, just completely eliminating him from the map, which will give Flash a little bit of control, a little bit of time to reassign their side lanes. And look at that! That's 2 solo laners in the side lane for a 6th place team. But now TQ is overstepped as well. Has to flash away. Fuquan and TQ in the back of the Baron pit. What are they doing over here? TQ still in trouble and just gives up a free kill on the other end. Unfortunate. I just praised them for getting the collapse, but then they give it away with yet another unnecessary death.
Yep, but still a good play from them. And this time the TC train onto Killer Queen was set twice. They failed it. Once onto Nagia, once onto Glory. But this time they actually managed to get the full CC chain onto them. Killer Queen now tries to go for Yoshino. Yoshino with the ghost, and W gets to just run away, being the Gwen, of course. And about 2k gold lead still for Team Wales. Nothing has really changed for the past about 7 minutes. So they're in a fine spot on Team Flash's side right now. And Team Wales actually wants to get the advantage larger. And Fuquan is now being engaged by Killer Queen. One thing I have to say though is I think Pudding is going for not for Infinity Edge, and I would have liked him to see him with the Infinity Edge, just going full damage because he has to 1v9 this game.
Yeah, I always like it. I mean, we don't ever see Infinity Edge these days in Zeri. It seems like really all the Zeris I see, at least in the VCS, always go for Navori.
Yeah, in the VCS they always go for Navori,
yeah,
but
every
like
single game.
In other leagues, I see Infinity Edge a lot. Like LPL is going Infinity Edge probably 60-70% of the time.
Yeah, I personally like
and so
Infinity
on
Edge, but
yeah.
It seems like VCS has just agreed on Navori, so it's not surprising whatsoever to see this yet again. Of course, gives nice ultimate damage and a lot of cooldown reduction and stuff like that, W damage. So it's definitely not a bad item, but the highest individual auto attack damage is definitely on the IE, so this Zeri is more trying to do AoE damage with all her ultimate stacks and so on. Might come in handy against all those short-range targets, like if you get a good angle on your ultimate auto attacks and hit both Glory and Vid, then maybe the Navori is better than the IE, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely Angus for the Navori, and it's not like it's a bad item on
exactly.
Zeri whatsoever. It's just, as you said,
this can't
Infinity
work,
Edge
right?
gives you max damage, and Fuquan. I mean, I don't hate the idea. It's just, let's try it, and maybe enemy team falls asleep. We don't lose anything. Team Wales wasn't asleep at the wheel, so it ends up not working, but they didn't really lose anything, and they couldn't have contested Drake anyways. So, fair enough. TQ now looking to top side, trying to clear out some vision, but not to be that guy. I don't think you're able to kill Nagia.
Nagia needs to run away, but he can, because he's Cassandri, even in his not all-out form. And now the counter-engage. CBL with a huge knock-up, and Nagia is looking for the angle. They can't really do it, but now inside track for the mid-tower, I think that's the target for Wales. I really like their quick shot calling, because it seems like the macro in this game is much more precise when it comes to just calling where they have to go. Just instant decision to get the inside track on mid-tower, and even though the fight looked like it could have been better, they do get a tier 2 mid-tower. They did get the dragon as well, and now they're fancying a Baron, it looks like.
Yep, they're starting it up now, but Fuquan in position to maybe steal Zeri's on the way. This could be the win, or this could be the lose, because if Zeri gets an AC, it's over.
Oh, there's Fuquan. He can't get the seal, and he has to flash out. That's a Baron. 5 members walking away. Puddin used his ultimate. He needs to get in there. His ultimate is ticking away. If he can't auto-attack, Puddin lost his ultimate. They can't fight anymore, so now Team Wales should get out with all 5 Baron buffs available, just winning everything on the map. Dragon into mid tower, into Baron. Team Wales has found the exploit in the middle of the game again, and now off to a 4k gold lead, 2 dragons to 2. They are looking like the stronger team for the whole series. This is risky though. That was a bit of a weird teleport. Nagia now half HP. Oh, he might have thrown away his life. Nope, never mind. I always get fooled by Cassandri, because he can always get away. 5 mobility spells are quite nice to have.
Absolutely, and one thing I have to say is that Nagia completely saved Team Welzer at the Nash, because there was a Yoshino in perfect position for a triple ultimate on all 5 members. He hit the first one, he slowed them all down, which would have meant that Pudding can get into range as well. But Nagia being able to just ult him out, making sure that Yoshino was completely sent away, and meaning that they couldn't get to Team Wales anymore, and that now means that Team Wales with 5 Nashs is gonna be able to shove down side lanes and mid lane. And I mean, also this entire play started with Team Flash doing a really weird call where they went over the wall trying to catch Killer Queen, and just Killer Queen jumped out and was asking them what the hell, what are you doing? And then a really nice turnaround from Team Wales to punish them.
Yeah, it's quick decision making, which is always good to see. Now, Nagia doesn't have his ultimate. This time he might actually be dead. He's still trying to scuttle away, and here's the support. Very good W to block the Q damage. Nagia still really close to dying, but oh my god, he gets away again. Nagia is just the master of Cassanti escapes on the weak side the whole game, but he hasn't died a single time, and what a performance on this champion. I wanted to see him win because I really think he's so amazing on this champion. His win rate doesn't tell the story, but now 8th game of the split, and 1-0-1, Nagia showing up on the tanks, back-to-back tank performances that can definitely speak for themselves.
I mean, you two, I said they shouldn't look for engages all the time, and you said they're not going to be able to hold themselves back. You were right.
I know.
And also the target calling, I don't understand. Like, we're like the people we've tried to catch is Lee Sin, Nagia. And once we tried to get to the glory, got his flash, and then never tried it again.
Yeah, it's true. It's a bit of a... I don't know how to call it. It's a bit of a solo queue-esque performance where you just go see hero, kill hero, and don't actually think about what resources are available. It's not very coordinated in the way they try to set up the picks. I definitely agree with you. He ghosted just to get back to the minion wave. Nagia is really trying his best to make an impression. Unfortunately, he can't save the tower. He's still very fast. The ghost is still running. And there comes Lori from the other side. Lori is here. They didn't expect Lori to be here. Nagia gets yet another kill. Lori will be able to chase down TQ as TQ gets slowed again. Nope, there's the flash, but Killer Queen is there. Nice execute on the Q. We know Killer Queen's Qs on the Lee Sin are heat-seeking as always, and this game is looking more and more Team Flash. They might go 6-0 on the week.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a clean game. It's a clean game from them, for sure. I think 1 or 2 mistakes maybe, but I think that is completely understandable. And on the other side, Flash, I mean, again, they showed that they can do something early, especially through the bot lane pudding, and Yoshino, I think, have shown that they are better than what their scoreline shows, and also what the team brings to the table. And there's the support stuff that those two have is just... it's miserable to watch, honestly.
Yeah, TQ coming in here, last game of the split for Flash, very likely now, and not really showing up. I feel like both of his games have been struggles, both on Rakan as well, which is the premier support in this meta, and you should always be able to have a decent Rakan, so maybe it's a bit too early to integrate TQ in the team. Of course, they will have a little bit of time after this series, especially, I mean, they still have to worry about relegations now that tiebreaker rules are actually here. And if Cerberus does not win later today, they will very likely have to play a best of 3 again later this week or next week to decide who of Team Secret and Flash goes into this relegation. But I feel like TQ, if they can avoid a relegation or even get back into the league, he might need a little bit more time, maybe a little bit more time to build synergy with Puddin or just in solo queue to get better. For me, Sora has looked like the better support between those two, and this was more an experiment to give him a little bit more time at the end of the split.
Yep, absolutely, and maybe also, I mean, the thing is that I feel like support's also really reliant on jungler, right? And if your jungle is already a problem and you randomly throw in the support, it's so hard for him to do anything. Puddin now getting engaged on by Killer Queen, fighting back, trying to kill the Lee Sin, and so far being able to.
Yeah, Puddin now... oh, Puddin right into Nagia. That's so sad to see. Really cool how Team Wales is able to set up the flanks on the composition that wasn't actually supposed to flank. Last game they didn't flank at all, but it worked as well. So Team Wales just experimenting with team fighting a bit. And I'm so impressed. Every game I watch, I just feel like Nagia is starting to really put his name in the conversation for best top laner. I already am kind of on the train for him. And Lori needs to be very careful. He is not dealing any damage to Yoshino. Weirdly enough, Yoshino not trying to chase him down, maybe still scared of the potential in Glory's damage. He's a Cassiopeia, he's level 17, he has 4 items, so maybe the correct decision by Yoshino as he teleports out. And now Flash, still trying to make everything they can work for them. There is the Baron started, and that's Yoshino with a lot of damage on the Baron. They might be able to walk away with this one, as Wales is too slow to react, so a little bit of a steal on the top side of the map. They get the Baron, Team Wales. One more fighting chance. TQ is stuck in the wall though, he's gonna go down. Sacrificial Lamb doesn't really matter too much. Flash still walk away with the objective. Or will they? Uh-oh, Glory is back here and Nagia is also on the other side. That's put in, caught out again. Nagia with yet another kill. Can they chase down Fook1 for another Baron buff? It doesn't look like Fook1 just slowly but surely walking away to his own base. They got the Baron, but at what cost? 2 people dying. Mid lane is already under siege. That's going to be an inhibitor if they play their cards correctly to Team Wales. Doesn't stop 1 second, even after losing the big purple worm to the enemy team.
Honestly, Yoshino for Saigon Buffalo. I'm gonna say it.
I don't disagree. We talked about this yesterday too.
It's just, I mean, it's like Saigon needs a better top laner, and Yoshino needs a team. And I think it could be good. Anyways, yeah, I mean, Yoshino was really trying his best. I'm not sure where the call for the Nash came from, but whoever made it was really smart. And then, of course, we agreed for the red buff, because the red buff is so important in the 31st minute that you have to die for it. And we end up doing so. So, yeah, I mean, Team Flash just... I mean, Team Flash also looks really dysfunctional. Like, they don't really care anymore. It feels like, you said it earlier, it feels like solo queue. It feels like they're just running at enemy and they're not really talking and they don't really want to be here, but they kind of have to. And it's how it feels like looking from the outside, because yeah, I mean,
I do like this call. This Nash call is showing that they do not.
It's a great Nash call.
Exactly.
But then we jump over the wall and go for the red buff. And what are we doing? Like.
And look at how tanky Glory is yet again. Good stopwatch usage as well. And Nagia just able to chase down Puddin. Puddin can't do anything there. Now Yoshino under attack, but he should be able to just run away, right? He has Ghost as well if he needs to use it. Team Wales, I mean, Flash is only 5k gold down at 32 minutes. They should maybe be able to force yet one more team fight. And look at the items. That's a decent set of items for Yoshino and 4 items done for Puddin. So if everything goes well, maybe they do have a fighting chance in this game, even to inhibitors down.
I mean, they can win team fights. They have to execute them well. They have to let Puddin cook. Puddin, of course, doesn't have to flash. In this game, though, not as important as in the last game. And now we see Fook1. He's on the flank. He wants to go for Killer Queen,
but where's the damage?
Isolated. He doesn't have friends.
Yeah, he doesn't have any damage behind that engage. That's a toothless approach there, as Team Wales just walks in the minion wave and will have the 3rd inhibitor. You need to fight now. Oh, good engage on Fook1 this time, and Yoshino is in no man's land. Somehow Yoshino ended up in the enemy team and just died instantly. And there's Lori with a Flash ultimate, not the greatest. And now Flash actually in a decent position. Vid, though, free firing and chasing down the enemy ADC. Still has his E. That was really nicely done from Vid, showing his prowess. Triple kill for this ADC that has caught so many strays in some of the games Wales played against some of the better ADCs. He was the problem, but really not for the rest of this split. The last 2 weeks, Vid has done an amazing job. Ends the game with a quadra kill to his name, and Wales with a perfect last week, finishing at 6-0 and securing 9